Hello, everybody. I'm Will.
And I'm Kristen.
And this is So I'm Watching Upload, Season 2, Episode 1.
Welcome back, Mr. Brown.
Welcome back, Mr. Brown. So, I watched Upload when it debuted 2 years ago. I think it was a pandemic.
I think it was real early 2020.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like April through May 2020.
I watched it. I loved it. I kind of watched the whole thing. We started it and then never did finish it.
I watched half, but then I finished it last night.
I wish I had revisited it because I remember nothing. I even watched like a recap and I'm like, okay, yeah, all of that I recall, but it's everybody's familiar to me. Like I remember the themes and stuff, and I could absolutely follow it if I were just watching it for leisure, but I'm feeling anxiety covering it because I'm like,
oh no.
So he was there. It was really twisty and turny in a way I wasn't expecting.
Yeah,
because it's a solid enough premise. It's a half-hour comedy about the afterlife. I think it's
like sort of the afterlife. Yeah,
sure. I think my single favorite thing about it is how it tiptoes the uncanny valley of everything, because it seems so horrific, but there's also something in me that it's like,
it seems great.
Yeah, it seems terrible, but I'm also like, I mean,
if I could live in Lakeview, I'd do it. I would do it. Just
the hellishness of like how the corporations have like evolved and merged.
That part's terrible.
Well, and having to have money in the after, like all of it. But it's like it feels real. Like it feels authentic. That I'm like, that would be. You really would have to have money, and you would run out of gigabytes.
Yeah.
And or you wouldn't be able to buy a view for your window. Like, but it does seem sweet. Like part of me is like, so maybe I don't want that to be afterlife. Maybe I want that for like vacations or something.
Vacations from the afterlife, or you just want to be able to upload yourself? I want to
go on vacation. Yeah.
You just go on vacation.
Yeah. But I can't like click my fingers and change all of my like, I don't know.
So you want magic to be real?
No, I want to go to a place and put on a VR and have like an upload VR.
Oh.
How are you confused? Instead of like going to the Bahamas, I would just go on like an upload vacation.
No.
I'd go to Lakeview.
No, that's not as good. While you're still alive?
Yeah.
No. I'm only interested in this after I'm dead. I don't want to just do it while I'm alive. Because then you're not really doing it.
I don't understand. So there was a murder. Okay, what was the plot of the first, like, what happened?
So, well, they didn't actually
explain it.
Well, they did, but it's like 5 different things.
Okay.
Because in the first episode, when he's getting uploaded, he's like actually fine. She just sort of does it. Like
Ingrid.
She just does it. But his like vitals are like re-elevating. They keep on saying he has a punctured lung and that he's like fading or whatever, but he's like sitting up straight and talking and like fine. And then it just like takes his head and he is like uploaded. So basically what happened is that he threw over his business manager or business partner and was selling the freeload thing,
which was bringing upload to the masses
for free.
Okay.
It was going to be just like a free downloadable app.
Mm-hmm.
He basically decided to sell it to Ingrid's father. And then basically what happened is Ingrid realized that her father was going to kill him after he had the code. So she went back in the car and turned the like protect passenger setting in the car back on. So he actually was fine from the car crash. And then she jumped the gun and uploaded him anyway.
Okay.
Yeah.
Like that wasn't strategy?
Not so far, although I don't know. She like,
I remember she was terrible, and then they
softened her.
They like well, not quite redeemed. You're right. They softened her in interesting ways. And she's also, she was terrible in like a elite high society woman terrible. She wasn't terrible in like machinations way.
Right.
Because I remember the funeral where he had the stupid shorts.
Yeah. The green.
And so there was a woman investigating it, and who killed her?
I would imagine her father again.
Okay.
Yeah.
But then there was the guy who was stalking Nora, and Nora was his angel in Upload. And Nora and Nathan like fell in love, but of course that's against protocol, against procedure.
Well, and then she found out that he threw over his business partner, and he like wasn't the man she thought he was.
Okay, so who was the man who was chasing her?
Dr. Curdle Jr.
Yeah, who was?
I think he's also from Ingrid's father.
So this part of the mystery is still ongoing.
Yes, because basically,
as evidenced by this episode.
Yeah, Ingrid's father is now trying to get rid of all the evidence that like he's done something nefarious.
Okay.
And now, I mean, Nora knows, which is why she escaped at the end of this.
Well, and Nathan was able to like attack Dr. Curdle Jr., the guy. And
well, Nora gave him the little tool that shows him the code in Upload, so.
And so he like crashed the elevator, and there's now a detective who thinks that's suspicious. Yeah. So that part of the mystery is still ongoing. So Nora was running away with her
Byron,
her like pseudo boyfriend who was annoying.
Yeah, he just sucked. He was just a real
like a drip.
Yeah, well, he like made like the first time that they hooked up on the app, the like Tinder-ish app, he was like, rate me 5 stars, and then he like made her do it in front of him, and then he gave her like a 3.8 or something. I remember that. So they kept going out, but he was like really judgy about her job and her life and everything, and he just sort of sucked. And so she said she was going away with him to the Poconos, and then her dad met her at like the place and took her because he was like, I have an actual off the grid place we can go.
So her dad was it just cancer, or her dad was dying?
He has vape lung because he thought it was safer, and then all the studies came out.
It's too real?
Yeah.
Too much of it's too real.
I actually rewatched the whole season yesterday. I just like started back again from the beginning. So.
I wish I had. I had time. No, I didn't. I was busy. It's too real. So he's dying. She's trying to convince him to upload.
Yeah.
But he's not convinced. And
he wants to be with her mother, and he believes in heaven.
Mm-hmm. It's, I mean, not really spoilers, but it's San Junipero. From Black Mirror. Mm-hmm. So he picks up Nora, and they go to this, like, what's a cult? They go to this, like, off the grid camp.
I feel like it has culty segments.
It's so funny because it's like much like Upload, much like it's Lakeview. It's like it's almost great, like because they have like they're like in nature and like people are interacting and there's like organic fruit and food,
non-Monsanto seeds,
heirloom seeds and stuff like that. But also it's like cold and dirty and dreary and like if only there was some way we could merge the two where we could have technology and nature.
And look, I have nothing against Paolo Costanzo. I think he's nice. He's cute. He plays Matteo, the new guy. In the little commune thing, but like there's no contest between him and Robbie Amell is all I'm saying.
Robbie's just, it's like comically good looking.
Yeah, like I feel like he was printed in a factory just for me to look at.
I do like that he's getting a little bit older. Mm-hmm. I think he like there's cracks in it that I can like grab onto now where like 10 years ago it was too much. It was just.
So he is 3 years younger than us.
In this episode. So that was kind of part of it, is Nora going off the grid with her dad, meeting Matteo. She fits in relatively well, but very much still cares about Nathan and
technology. Well, like she wants to make sure he's okay. Mm-hmm. Also, at the end of the season, she said she loved him, but his data ran out and he couldn't say it back. So that's part of the reason that she left as well.
Okay. And at the end of the last season, Ingrid had uploaded. And I remember we kind of danced around that because I was like, so she killed herself? And you were like, I mean, I guess that's how it works. And she's in Upload. And why is she so invested in this relationship with Nathan?
I have no idea.
She's trying to make it work.
Yeah.
And she's exhibiting growth.
She's, I guess, yes, exhibiting. She's like play acting growth was what it feels like. Because, spoiler alert, she did not actually upload. She is still wearing one of the suits, and she's in her bathtub. And
so the boss, what was her name, Jan or something like that?
Lucy.
Lucy knows?
I'm not 100% sure
I think
about.
Lucy might know.
Okay.
Because she took Alicia off it. Because Alicia was clashing really poorly with Ingrid.
Okay. Well, she gave Alicia a promotion and said you get a temp.
So
who
she now
is
is a
Tinsley.
Yeah, so Ingrid didn't upload, but she's pretending to.
Yeah.
And she's gotten Nathan out of the 2G and he's back in her apartment. And grandmother's still around.
Yeah.
And Nora rented, she was at the post office because they have to mail letters now. And she rented a VR headset and as a cat, terrifying.
It was not great.
Talk about uncanny valley, terrifying cat. She saw them like kissing.
Yeah.
But you were very suspicious. I guess, were you suspicious the whole time that Ingrid hadn't? You thought there was another element?
I wasn't 100% sure she hadn't uploaded, but there was something about it that I like, she seems too vain to kill herself for a man. And then also some of her arguments about like that her body is not as good.
It's not as slamming.
In the upgrade or in the upload, I don't buy it. I don't know.
It was very funny.
Yeah, a lot of it was sort of weird. I don't know. I definitely didn't expect her to not be in the upload. And I mean, that's going to come to a head at some point this season. He's going to realize she's going to like disappear or something. And she's going to
There's more going on because they've thus far made sure to write Ingrid as more interesting and funnier than she needs to be, because it's a pretty archetypal character.
Yeah.
But between the writing and the acting, there's just, because there was a moment in this episode where Luke was excited to go to the gym with Nathan and he like literally ran up to her and like screamed. And she was like, "Oh my God." It was such a funny reaction that I'm like,
she's really good. Her name is Allegra Edwards and she's very good.
There has to be another plot. And like I said at the top, it's like, considering how apparently mystery-y this show is, there has got to be something else going on.
Yeah,
why
I
she's
agree.
so invested in this.
I remain obsessed with the AI guy. The one that's like the bellhop.
mimosas.
Oh my God, he's so funny. Also, he is like obsessed with Nathan. Like he's in love with Nathan, and I find it hilarious.
So I think that's really it. It was mostly sort of
set up to the new
order, reestablishing and setting up the season. Because that was really the only reveal, the only plot. I imagine Tinsley's going to end up factoring in.
Oh, of course, yeah.
She had a mini coaching session with Alicia where Alicia was kind of like trying to.
Yeah, it was I love Alicia too. She is super funny. I like her quite a lot.
But she was like, "Take off that coat, it's terrible." And she's like, "Okay." And she's like, "You're not going to fight for it?
But also stand up for yourself." So no coat? No coat? No coat?
So yeah, I think that's about it for that. So I think we're going to be covering this episodically. So we will be back as soon as we can with episode 2.
Yep.